York's classic rock, Q1043.
And we welcome to New York City Pat McGann, who's from Chicago, but who was on stage at Madison Square Garden last night.
How do you look so wide awake if you were performing?
I went to bed immediately after. I said, I have radio in the morning. I'm going to bed.
So even though history was going to take place yesterday, you just walked off the stage. I don't believe that.
Bolted. No, I had to stay because last night, so I'm opening for Sebastian Maniscalco. He's got 5 sold-out shows there this week, kind of posting a flag there for the rest of the week. And last night he had a special guest that he invited. I don't know if you can guess, a mentor, if you will. He was on his show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, a couple times.
Yep.
Jerry Seinfeld came out.
Whoa!
And did a set.
His first set at Madison Square Garden, which he mentioned.
Yeah, that's why I said history was made.
Wow, that is history.
He had never performed at Madison Square
How's
Garden
that possible?
before. I don't know.
I don't think he is a arena comedy guy. Like, he is, I think, on record saying he prefers max out at a big theater.
Right,
know?
Right. And he does, a regular sort of residency at the Beacon, but still.
But after last night,
wow,
he seemed to enjoy it. And people were, standing ovation.
How did the crowd react?
Oh, they were aghast at first, so fired up. I've seen this on a smaller scale. I was at Gotham Comedy Club, and I was working there, and they told me that Jerry Seinfeld's going to come in and close out the show. And I introduced him at Gotham, and they were in disbelief. It's a mixture. It's good energy because people are doubting it, and then they see him.
Okay, so you kind of were the MC then that night.
That was the night. I was actually closing out the show, but
you introduced him.
I got to introduce him. So then he closed it.
That made you the MC for the moment.
For sure. Yeah. That was a thrill.
But you and Jerry Seinfeld, you have some connection here.
Well, the connection is Sebastian.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like the next door might be you two.
Yeah, right. But, that was a great way to kick off the week. Been looking forward to this. I've been able to...
But you and Sebastian Maniscalco have been working together pretty regularly since before Sebastian Maniscalco was Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah, I met him in Chicago, where he is from, but he was living in L.A. at the time. He's coming back to Zany's Comedy Club, and he was selling out clubs at that point in his career. And I was the house MC at Zany's. That's kind of where I started. And, this is probably 2010, and then I started hitting the road with him a little bit. And then in 2016, 17, became pretty much the regular opener, and been watching his ascent, his climb, through the years. It's been quite a ride. Very fun.
But it takes a lot of confidence in your own ability to be able to go out on stage in front of 17,000 people who purchase tickets basically to see somebody else.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that is a different role, being the opener. But it's also hey, this guy, when you go see someone, the main act is usually picking the opener. There's a little bit of you have some credibility.
Right.
And his fans are great. They've been, like I said, it's grown a lot over the years, definitely snowballed. But I've gotten a good sense of his fan base, and, they're welcoming. They're excited to, see a live show, and it's been, I've been able to connect with them. So,
well, I have noticed that with big comedy shows, audiences are more generous in their acceptance of opening acts than rock bands.
Yes, it's different.
But the thing is, it's harder to heckle at the Garden than if you're at a tiny club, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot more going on, and when you're starting out, people are still getting settled, but it works. He's got a beautiful stage he's traveling with. The screens, really bring you in. So when you think about arena comedy, you might be like, is that you're able to connect? Is it intimate?
Yeah, what's it like doing
somehow
that
it is
360 like that? You're not looking out like normally. It's
right. Yeah, you got to work the round. You get a little dizzy, but it works.
And then, of course, you have your own headlining gigs. Like the Paramount Theater is coming up, which is a beautiful theater. Have you seen it yet?
Yes, I actually performed there last year, so I'm going back to the Paramount.
In Huntington.
Mm-hmm.
In Huntington, yeah. So I'm there November 9th. I know a little bit of history of that. That's where Billy Joel kind of kicked off his comeback, and they have they also have a big following there. That's a beautiful town, too. So, yeah, when I'm not with Sebastian, I'm out bouncing around doing my own thing, and, it's been good.
And, of course, comedy albums. Comedy albums meant something a little bit different when I was a kid than they do now, because they were actually on vinyl and you played them on record players.
Right.
But they still exist, and yours have been successful.
Yeah, I'm trying to pump out material constantly. I put a lot of stuff on my Instagram feed. That's like the new game too, the whole social media game of it, putting out clips, and you got to be turning material. So, the satellite radio too, and getting on to other shows that are just sharing content. It's like
We don't talk about that here.
Well, true. What I'm saying, like we're all trying. That's where the albums go. Like that's where people are doing.
How dare you?
I know. No, because they have a channel that plays comedy albums. Shelley, that's my phone.
Oh, it's your phone. At first it was Trevor.
My
Now
phone.
it's
That's the
you.
producer saying, "Get him off."
No,
what did he just bring up?
It's an alarm. Why on earth I have
Why?
an alarm set at 8:11 a.m.? I don't have.
I think I
faintest
set an
idea.
alarm that you had a guest coming today.
Should I do snooze or no?
No, because in 5 minutes.
Yes,
it's-
I know. I'm just teasing. But
We had 2 sips of this Gatorade red cheap wine concoction. 2 sips and he has not been the same yet.
2 sips this morning?
This morning. Would
An
you
hour
like
ago.
some?
The
We have
bottle.
it's right by
You
you.
must be
Bottles.
Catholic.
about an hour ago.
Well, we're
We
just-
tried it.
Let's dive in.
Jim's a red wine guy.
Is
so
it breathing?
Yeah, well, I unscrewed the top. Yeah, I heard the
It's not
crack.
allowed to breathe.
Oh, it's good when it's a screw top.
Oh,
But
yeah.
your debut comedy special, When's Mom Gonna Be Home, was recorded at the Vic Theater
Yeah, that's a great place.
in Chicago.
Yeah, I put that out a few years ago, and that's another thing that Sebastian did for me, kind of sharing his platform. He produced this special for me that's on Peacock. You can find it on Amazon, and that was a lot of fun. That was back when's Mom Gonna Be Home? That's when I was married. So now I'm not, and that's a different question.
Ah.
When's Mom Gonna Be Home?
yeah,
There's
but-
2 different homes.
Yeah, but you're still a dad.
That was a joke, though. When's Mom Gonna Be Home? It's like, when I start paying attention to you, she's close. When I put my phone on the counter, she's in the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was now I have a different life a little bit. I'm still I got 3 kids, and but I did get divorced about a little bit over a year ago via Zoom, which is like, can you believe that you can wrap up a marriage on
You
Zoom?
mean it was
Really?
a court session on
Yeah,
Zoom?
on Zoom. It's like I kind of took that pretty seriously for 12 years. I didn't like wrap it up with like a link.
I hate
you know?
Zoom.
Well, you should try Zoom Divorce.
That's
It's a
going to
good.
save on the bill.
It's a good energy.
Ugh.
People were in their boxes. One guy was like partying, like, I'm getting divorced today. His lawyer's like, mute yourself. Mute yourself.
He's just hitting the heart emoji.
Then he
over
popped
and
back
over.
up and he's like in his car, like
In his
driving.
car?
Trees like flying by in the background. And you're like, I was thinking, like, which one was his wife? Because she must be like, this guy losing this prince. He probably said he'd never multitask. Now he's running errands in the middle of divorce.
That's awesome.
I can't believe that. It's Pat McGann with us here at Q104.3. We'll be right back. Pat McGann is with us, and he's at Madison Square Garden through Sunday, right?
Yes.
It's through Sunday with Sebastian Maniscalco. So you look very young. You look like a young guy, but you didn't start your comedy career till you were already 31 years old?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a late start. I had a sales career, and it was just like something I wanted to try, So I just hit some open mics in Chicago and kind of got rolling from there. But yeah, a little bit of a late start.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you saying I look young.
Well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, if
You can convince anyone on the radio,
No,
right?
no, if you-
He looks so young. You
No,
should
if-
see him.
First of all, if you've been doing comedy for over 20 years
Yeah.
and you started when you were 31, well, I'm just doing the math, and you look very young.
Well, I haven't been 20 years, so I'm 48. We could just say
Okay,
it.
it's about
I'm
the same
48.
thing.
Just ask me, Jim.
It's about the same
He's-
thing.
Dancing around it.
He just, he
What's the
cares.
difference between 17 years and 20 years?
Yeah,
of
right.
Doing comedy?
I always feel like,
3.
the late start was good for me because I got to be in that real world, the sales world, for about 8 years, and
What were you selling?
packaging, and I got to travel a little bit, got to see more of the country, got to be in that world. You just get more life experience to talk about. So it's like that's the trade-off. Like, are you going to start young and get a bunch of stage experience and kind of be ahead in that game, or are you going to get a bunch of life experience and then start a little later and have something to talk about? Because a lot of young people, they don't have, not that they have nothing to talk about, but they're just kind of, you're more developing your persona, then
Then
So I feel like I caught up, but it took maybe about 8-10 years.
okay, shameless plug time. Okay, let's
Get it.
let people know about your show that you're headlining at the Paramount Theater on Saturday, November 9th in Huntington.
Yes, I thought I was going to do that, but my son has a hockey tournament now, so I can't.
Oh.
I can't go. That's been taking over my life. My son plays hockey and had to try out. 9 years old.
No.
Yeah,
And
you know what
then
the
they're
tryout
gone.
was?
No.
The tryout was, can you come up with $2,500? That was the tryout. I'm like, yeah, you're on the squad. No, I'm definitely going to be there. November 9th in Huntington at the Paramount, which I got to do last year. I got a bunch of new material this year, so I'm excited to go back there. It's a beautiful theater. It kind of reminds me of the Vic in a way, about same size-ish, and so that's November 9th.
And they can actually get tickets by going to your website.
Yes, my website, patmcganncomedy.com.
Okay, patmcganncomedy.com.
Got the plug-in.
Yep, we did. Shamelessly.
Nice and subtle.
Some tickets are still available.
Some tickets.
Act quickly.
Yeah. Going fast.
Yes.
So, is there any other surprise tonight?
Tonight, I don't think so. But I heard something may be possible for the weekend, so we'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
I tried. I poked the bear.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. Pat McGann.
We could give a couple tickets out to Paramount if you want. Are we allowed to do that? Is that a
You got them on you?
I got them right here.
There you go. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure. 888-872-1043. How many pair?
2.
2. Okay.
How about that?
Caller 25 and 26.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Pat.
Jen. Thanks, Shelly. I appreciate it. Great to meet you guys.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.